Hi there, welcome to another video from Parker Adams Boat Sales. I'm Jonathan Parker and today we're doing something slightly different from our usual type of boats because we're up here on the west coast of Scotland, just west of Glasgow, and we're actually filming a Branson Coaster 49. And it's a 2007 boat of steel construction, much like a Dutch Barge, but this is actually a Category B rated boat. So this is a coastal boat and it has the equipment to prove it as well. So we're going to show you all the benefits and features this boat has to offer. But of course, first thing, this is a beautiful room that we're in. And we can see we could be in a modern apartment here. And this is the beauty of this sort of Dutch style design. Is the fact it is a proper liveaboard. So the actual kitchen is part of the living accommodation as well. There's a great table for sitting around. This is an extending table which can be kept with the boat if need be. But you can get the full benefit of your kitchen at home. So we've got a fridge and freezer. There's a wine cooler as well. There is a dishwasher. And a washer dryer as well. So all the amenities of home. Gas hob, gas oven, proper sink with drainer. And there's a nod to the fact that this is a boat because there's lots of catches on the doors to stop them opening. I particularly like the portholes, really nicely finished in a gold colour. So I suppose it's supposed to be bronze, in a bronze colour. And they are opening as well. So they're very neat little openers that you can open up. You can take these out, so you can have it open or just have them just angled like that. And then you can just close them off just like that. And they're all around. I really love this roof though. The roof can be tilted, so it can be opened up for a really nice airflow. This actually can be removed as well. That's how the table got down in here. It can actually be taken so stuff can be brought up and down. Really, really cool. There's access through the floor to things like the bilges, bilge pumps. The water tanks are under the floor here. These have been now neoprene line tanks. And there's about 500 litres of domestic water capacity here. There's a calorifier as well down in the engine room, which we'll show you in a bit. And this actually has full central heating. There's a radiator there. There's radiators in all the rooms. And that just uses a normal combi boiler. But the boiler's been converted to run off red diesel. It was originally kerosene, but it's been converted now to run off of red diesel, which is a really good addition, especially because kerosene isn't as easy to get hold of as red diesel on the water. And then we'll go through to the front cabin. So we're now going into the front of the boat. And you can see it's a very large cabin indeed. You've got two big singles. This can be infilled as well to make it one large bed. Bit of cabinetry space. This is access to the bow thruster in here and then storage under these compartments. There's also, again, another radiator. There's wardrobe space here, drawer space. There's lots of storage. This is storage underneath the cushions as well. Under the slatted bed. I quite like it slatted because it keeps it aerated so you won't get any damp under here. Lots of electric points. I mean, there's loads. There's 4 there, 2 there. So another 2 behind. Yeah, there's I don't think we need so many. There's a lot of them, right. But this has access to, just through the door into this door, a heads, proper marine heads. So into a holding tank, electric as well. Lovely finish on here, much like the kitchen. It's a very nice, I don't know, it's not marble, is it? What do they call this?
Corian, maybe.
Corian, yeah, it's probably Corian. But it is actually, even though it changes colour, it's all one thing. It's not a separate sink, it's all moulded in white, which is really nice. And I'll let you go in, but there's a full-size shower in there as well. As you come out, I'm on the settee, which you can while away. This could also be used as a small single as well. It's a nice place to lounge around during the day, reading a book, having a coffee, and obviously friends around the table for dinner. And then we've got access here to all your switches. So again, it starts to see a bit more boat-like now. So we've got all our switch gear for all our domestic appliances. There's even a gauge for the level of water, voltage, all the usual. And then this cupboard is also used for a lot of the electrics. And we get to see a bit more now what the boat has to offer. There's a galvanic isolator fitted. There's also a 24 volt charger, it's a 30 amp charger, as well as a 12 volt 80 amp charger down there, a Victron one. It's also got an inverter, so a 3000 watt inverter, also fitted, and an autopilot head, as well as, you might recognise this from your house, it's got the mains trip fuses. Right, let's shut this off and head up the ladder. So the ladder's quite a narrow entrance and exit to this room. So you tend to want to go up and down backwards. And then we come up into the wheelhouse. But before I show you around the wheelhouse, I want to go back, because it's the last bit of accommodation I want to show you. Because this is what the current owners would normally use as their main cabin. So a full-size double bed. Is that king size? Probably double king size. As well as loads of light. There's light above, there's 2 windows there, 2 more over there, loads of storage, cupboard storage, and it's got its own heads. So full-size shower again, nicely appointed sink, and again electric head with radiator, and then 2 more windows in here as well, portholes. I keep saying windows. Should use a correct nautical term, shouldn't we? There's also access though, just before you disappear, just so you know a bit more. We're now at the back of the boat, so we've got the rudder here. It's hydraulic steering on this, and it does have autopilot as well, with the rudder indicator. But the rudder top is positioned here, and there is actually an emergency tiller position you can have on this as well, should all else fail. So everything is also designed to be accessible. That's what's quite important. It's quite often, these boats are made to a kit form. So this Branson coaster is actually a Branson designed boat. It's actually was built by RLL Boats, and they're a sort of Bristol based company. But the main fit out was actually done down our neck of the woods, down in Southampton, and in particular down at Folks Boatyard in Bursledon. It was finally fitted out. And the fit out is very bespoke. So the boat is made up, it goes to the owner, and then the owner organises the boat to be fitted out. So none two are the same. And as you can see, we're now up in the wheelhouse. It's a very large chart table and beautifully lit though. Again, we've got a different design of window up here. Still bronze frames. 2 access doors, so port and starboard. And we've got the 2 helm seats. It's just basic seats, but what I quite like is their spin. You can spin them around, so you can quite happily sit on the back here, just having a relax, looking out at a fantastic view. And we do have a fantastic view as well. We're actually on where we are. We're looking over to the islands off the west coast. We're actually, after this, we're going to try and head up north, aren't we? We are. Yeah. A little road trip after this. We're going to go on a little road trip, which we're very much looking forward to. So what you can hear there is one of the VHFs. I'm just going to turn them down. There are 2 VHFs fitted, one with a distress button. There's also AIS. The AIS shows on the more modern E90 widescreen. So the AIS is on here. It's got a 3D plotter, and the AIS target show on here. This also has a digital Raymarine radar fitted, and also it has a Furuno radar, which both work. I've had them both running today. We've also got a Furuno echo sounder, as well as we've got a Raymarine depth, and we've also got a Furuno autopilot. And just over here, there's a Navtex, which works as well. It's currently showing the, you can see, just the current weather. And in case you're wondering, yes, there is a bow thruster. It's a 49-foot boat, single engine on a shaft. So a bow thruster is very much required on close quarters manoeuvring on a boat like this. It also has 2 masts and booms, which we'll have a little wander around and I'll show you. They're not obviously not used for sailing, they're used for stabilising. So a boat of this size, it's a coastal boat, yes, but they do like to roll. So the sails are actually fitted to stop the rolling of the boat, well as it can. But when you come out, you really get a feel for the size of this boat. And I really love this top section. I can see many an hour whiling away in the sunshine up on here with some lounges, a couple of deck chairs even, table, a bit of outside dining. But of course all steel, loads of grab rails. Serious anchor though, that we've braked anchor. It's great, isn't it? Stainless steel anchor. Look at that, it's all a bit serious, I think. It's not quite what I'm used to. I'm just used to a small windlass. Obviously access there's foot position buttons as well to operate the electric motor up and down, and you can see the first mast and boom. So actually it's a fair size. You can really see when this is on full sail how that would help stabilise the boat, again with the additional of the rear one as well. So it's really designed for coastal work, and most Dutch barges aren't really designed for that. But this one being a coastal made one, it has all the equipment for exactly that. So I certainly wouldn't be afraid of doing some longer passages with all the luxuries of home. We can also step up onto the aft deck. There's loads of grab rails around. What this access you to there are two davits on the back. There's also a bathing platform with a ladder going down onto the bathing platform. So you can have quite a nice size tender off the back of here with good access on and off of it as well. It's the sort of one you'd leave the outboard on, you'd leave it all on there, you just lower it down, start it and use it. And then you've got another area which you can get up and onto. There's steps either side, so you can just easily get on the top. And then you've got access to your radar, to the second mast. That is a life raft mount. And again, if you wanted to, you could have a nice sun lounger up here. Might give you a little bit more privacy as well, because it's got a slightly elevated edges if you wanted to. But it really is a lovely boat. I'm just looking at the view. Amazing view. We're really pleased to be up here to do this. We've had this boat for sale for a while. We really don't understand why it's not selling. It's a real good mix of liveaboard and coastal work. Last thing I want to show you though, we're going to pop back down the other side. I'm just going to show you the engine as well and the engine access. The engine access is really easy. We come through the door. And I can show you a bit more what's going on down below. All right, engine access is via a hatch in the wheelhouse. And then it's a ladder straight away down. And then what I'll do, I suppose I'll better grab the camera and we'll show you down into the very well lit wheelhouse. Now it's a 135 horsepower Perkins Sabre engine, ultra reliable these engines are. And in fact Perkins has had one of these running for 30 years non-stop, believe it or not, and it's not failed. Very easy to service. They even come with their own oil pump, so you can pump the oil in and out. Obviously it's got antifreeze in there. There's a calorifier just at the back, which is actually heated by the engine, as well as there is a combi boiler fitted over here, which works very well, I'm told. And it's had maintenance. There's been a new air pump fitted towards the bottom. And you can see as the chimney goes up through the wheelhouse and up onto the top coach roof, which we saw a bit earlier. There's plenty of batteries as well. So we've got 3 fitted on the top here. And then you can see we've got these large Numax. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's 4 of these as well, all for domestic systems and then engine systems as well. The fuel tanks are either side, so behind these hatches are the fuel tanks. There's one either side. The current owner's not entirely sure of the capacity. The information doesn't tell him In fact, he went back to Branson to ask, and he's still waiting for an answer. But they have a balance pipe between them both, so they do. So if you put fuel in one, it will balance to the other side. And this is, in front of me, is a kerosene tank which has been emptied because it's no longer used because we're now using the diesel. This could be used as a second diesel tank, but you'd have to transfer it across if you wanted larger capacity. But interestingly, there's a transfer pump here, which is mounted and wired in. So potentially you could actually use that as a transfer with a bit of plumbing, so you can transfer extra fuel in if required. The engine room's in pretty good shape. They are showing a few rust bubbles here and there, but the owner is going to start just tidying it up a bit and just getting on top of anything before it develops into anything else. But I've certainly seen nothing that would concern me. The shaft, as you can see, is on the back of the gearbox and runs through, and then the rear cabin bunk, underneath the bunk is access to the stern seal and bits and pieces like that. Right, let me pop back up. Right, and then back up the ladder, if my knees can cope with it. Right, so here we are, and well, this was the Branson Coaster 49. A brilliant, brilliant boat, coastal capability, as well as brilliant liveaboard boat. I could see myself on here for many, many weeks at a time, just enjoying the coast, travelling around the coast in comfort and luxury. So if you're interested in this boat, get in touch with us, come and see us at parker-adams.co.uk, and to see how much this boat is for sale. Please get in touch, subscribe to our channel, and come and see all the other videos we have to offer. But I think for now, we're going to head up towards Fort William and enjoy the rest of our day up here in lovely Scotland. Bye for now.